lot of times I'm driving, there's nothing to do, and I shuffle through the radio before I unglue. There's a lot of red on ways, it's traffic, I'm screwed, and I'm wired a bit different than a regular dude. It's not a bad thing, I embrace it, it's true. The radio don't stimulate brain chemistry fluid. The Buddha found nirvana and the Four Noble Truths. Through a meditative process, right action he proved. For me, I require the use of a tool, a detector, pin, pointer, shovel, and beach scoop. I'm meant to work the dirt with my history crew, but everywhere I look, my interest taboo. Most people choose Bieber over Tippecanoe. What does a detectorist listen to when the radio is full of bad music and news? I need an alternative for me to peruse. Beyond Sight and Sound gets fantastic reviews. A metal detecting show where my thought bubble brews. Thank you, Josh Kimmel, for inviting me to a detecting dork out with guests like yours truly.
Are you looking for a high-quality beach and sand scoop? Are you trying to take your hunting to the extreme? How about an American-based company that stands behind their product and everything they sell? Then check out our friends over at XTREME Scoops. John has been making scoops for some time now and makes a quality beach and sand scoop to take your hunting to the next level. XTREME Scoops recently released their new sand shredder that works great in the water and on the beach. And if you're a new Equinox user, you may want to check out his Surfmaster X3 that can trap those small targets you new Equinox users are finding out there. XTREME Scoop's company approach is let's do it right. So do it right, buy it once, and go to the extreme. XTREMEScoops.com. That's XTREME scoops.com.
Caution. Please do not operate motor vehicles or power equipment while under the influence of this show. Listening to this show could cause side effects such as bouts of laughter, violent binges of cabin fever, and even dreams of silver and gold. Please be advised. Now that the fine print is out of the way, on with the show.
All right, the fine print's out of the way. It's time to roll with the show. We're back and we're live once again. You are listening to Beyond Sight and Sound, metal detecting and treasure hunting radio for all the really cool digging people out there. And as I look into the chat, I see that the Bills are in. Scotty, Gavin, Mark, Mike, good grief. It's Miss Tam. It's already flying. I can hardly keep track of what's going on there in the chat already, so you guys and gals are rocking that pretty good. Good to see. Definitely good to see. Links in the description. First and foremost, our friends over at Shooters and Prospectors. Chuck Smalley, the man with the plan, the dealer of choice. The dealer we promote here, the multi-line dealer. Our friends at DETECTEES.com, Ken, Mark, Darth, Buddy, and the gang doing a great job with the Beyond Sight and Sound apparel. Definitely cool, and we appreciate everything they do. Don't forget, a portion of your purchase does go towards MS awareness. Our friends at XTREME Scoops, TheRingFinders, Detected Outdoors, All Metal Militia, Metal Detecting NYC on YouTube, Ohio Metal Detecting on YouTube, Crazy Spider Adventures, shout out to John White over on YouTube. Check out his recent video and the find he posted up the other day over on Detecting the Heartland and many other groups. Killer, absolutely killer. 1900 New Orleans Mint Barber half. Nailed it. Knocked it out of the park with the Equinox. Way to go. Casey's in from Detecting the Heartland. Welcome aboard, buddy. Good to see, good to see. First off, Spreaker has done some updates today. I don't know what they updated, what that means for us, what it has in store for us tonight. We'll just have to find out. Maybe my chat doesn't lock up. Maybe they actually get their analytics right. We'll see what happens. I don't know. As long as the magic smoke doesn't come out, we're fine. Hopefully we don't break Spreaker. Definitely not a good thing to do. And speaking of things along those lines, there's Mark Hoover chiming in from Florida. Welcome aboard. Local, or I guess you could say interesting news. Apparently the Finn treasure has been recovered. It was confirmed by Finn. Supposedly, I'll say. I have seen some sources that seem to be reputable. We'll see what happens. I haven't had time to follow up on it much past that because we've had some things come up tonight that threw a little bit of a wrench in things for tonight's show. Chuck was definitely looking forward to tonight's show. Unfortunately, he will not be here, at least for a little bit. We hope that he makes it, but he did get called away. That's part of the many hats that he wears, and we do hope that he's safe and no one is injured. He has been called out. So we're going to do what we can, and who knows, maybe we'll even hear from Crazy Spider tonight. He's definitely trying to get home to where he can tune in as well. But until then, enough of all of that. You guys and gals have seen the post on Facebook. We dropped it all over the place like we normally do every Wednesday, every Sunday. And here we are, Sunday the 7th. And why it took as long as it did is not by anybody's fault or anything like that. I don't know why we have not had her on the show before, but this is actually the first time of her being on the show. We've talked before on the phone. We even actually got to meet up a little bit there a few years back. Actually, that was 4 years ago now at the 2017 National Metal Detecting Day out in Galesburg, Illinois. It was a very good time out there. Nice day after the monsoon went away. But tonight, obviously, being that coronavirus has everybody somewhat locked down still, Debbie has not been able to do any traveling, so we were able to catch her at home. So tonight, we've actually got Debbie from Minelab on the show with us tonight. So this is quite an honor, a pleasure, and very proud to see what goes on. Very anxious to hear these announcements and everything, so we'll get her in here. How is it going, Debbie?
Very good, Josh. Thank you for having me. Finally.
Right, yeah. I mean, we've both kind of been doing the circuits, you could say, for quite some time, and just never really caught up with each other in the same place at the same time. You're just such a busy woman.
As are you. You're very busy as well. But like you said, you caught me at home. I think home's ready to get rid of me.
Right? Yeah, usually people are seeing posts that you're at this airport traveling to this country or this city or something like that. And I think some of the people kind of miss seeing those posts.
I've heard a lot of people have been, and it's interesting. You know, when we went, so I'm in Illinois, so we were locked down until the end of May. So, and now we're on, I think it's they're calling it phase 3, where we, at our office, we can go back in, but we have to do 50-50. We have 2 shifts that go in back and forth. But when it all started, that's the first thing I was getting, all these texts and emails saying, you know, oh my gosh, you're not traveling, what are you going to do? And then the next question right out of their mouth is, do you have enough Pepsi to make it through this coronavirus?
That was going to be my next question, where some people may have been stocking up on water, where you're going, oh God, I've got to get somewhere and make sure I'm stockpiled on Pepsi. Because I've seen the posts from the airport.
You know, I did. And unfortunately, I can start telling you all the different airports exactly where you can and cannot find Pepsi. Because I do searches on these. But without a doubt, it's fun. You know, it's been neat to be home for a while, where, as you said, you know, I'm traveling all the time. I am ready to get back out and see everybody, because that was my favorite part of the whole the traveling bit, was seeing and talking to people that are within the hobby, and you know, I've made some very, very good friends, and I miss seeing everybody and just being outside and doing what we all love to do.
Right, that is a good point. I mean, I've even said myself here on the show that sometimes that's some of the best part of the hobby is the friends that we make, the people that we meet, the names we get to put to faces. Diggers really do. It's great to go to these different events and set up the booths and all of that, but diggers really do make the memories at these events.
For sure, without a doubt. And I've heard from so many people, and, you know, as we were talking earlier, I've done a bunch of these different podcasts or live events, which, you know, thank goodness for technology, because although we've not had events and that we've all been able to go out to and see everybody, there is some connection with the technology that we have now. So thank goodness for that.
That is true. You could say when it comes to the metal detecting shows, the podcasts, the go lives, things like that, our lifestyle hasn't necessarily changed because we're used to working from home in this aspect. We can reach out and get the guest wherever they are in the country.
Very true, but there are many metal detectors that have had to go get smartphones now. They had to put the flip phones away so that they could sign in and listen to you.
Right, yeah, some of us have been, you know, that don't like technology have been forced to upgrade.
Yes, because I see an awful lot of flip phones. That still surprises me.
Oh, I know. Every now and then I will run across one and go, wow, that's a relic.
It is. It is.
Oh,
but no, it's using the technology's just been, you know, it's opened up that you can still talk to people and, you know, doing whatever we can do until we can get back out there and have our large events like we did before.
Right. Yes. You're right. It is a way to, kind of pass the time, and it's great that the shows are out there. Shout out to Frank from Detect America. He's in the chat. It's great that shows like that are out there because we can kind of, not only are we sharing information and bringing on some guests that may not otherwise be available due to the time that we're in, it kind of takes everybody's mind off of the current situation at hand.
Yeah, definitely does. Definitely does.
It's a way to maybe kind of curb that cabin fever just a tad. It's not a complete cure or fix. I'm sure well, and I guess that's a good question too. With staying at home and not traveling, have you been able to get out and dig? Because unlike some people, not only are you out there promoting Minelab and promoting sales of Minelab machines, but you are, in fact, a digger.
I bet I am, and I wish I could do it a lot more. And believe it or not, even for being home, I think it's almost been 3 months or 2.5 months. I really have not had any time because I've just been, you know, busy every single day with, you know, answering people's questions. I've done a couple trainings, you know, via Skype or Teams, things like that. But we've been very, very busy. There's a lot of people, I believe new people that have come into the hobby because it's something that they can still do while social distancing, and they were looking for something to do. And, you know, like I said, we've been busy since day one.
You know, that's a very good point because I've talked to a few dealers where we always know that certain sales, equipment sales, like machines specifically, detectors in general, a lot of times you'll see a spike in sales shortly before Christmas and especially around tax time. People get their tax return and that's when they want that newest, latest, greatest machine or high dollar machine that they may not have been able to get otherwise. And we've seen that. But once coronavirus hit, I heard from multiple dealers that they just got slammed with orders and requests and ran out of stock and no way to get it back in because of the supply chain being broken, so to speak, because of factories being closed down due to the virus.
Yeah, it literally has been nonstop, and really right now would be kind of my slow time normally, and I'm not seeing any slowdown whatsoever, which is great for the hobby, great for, you know, the dealers and that, because, when this first happened, a lot of my concern was, are my dealers going to be able to weather the storm of going through this? And, they all figured out ways to stay. If they couldn't have their retail showroom open, they were doing curbside deliveries or whatever it took.
Right.
They
Sales
were
by
making sure that
appointment.
they could get out there, and helping people. And I've seen a lot of new people get into the hobby, which is just wonderful. Kids and families, because it's a great family hobby to get into, or sport to get into.
It is. It is definitely. I'll be the first to admit it's one of the most rewarding hobbies out there, because you're actually getting paid while you're out there enjoying the outdoors and exercising.
Correct, and to see somebody, somebody new detecting, to find that, see them find their first find, no matter what it is, or a kid to find their first find, you can just see how they get hooked on it as quickly as they do, as we all know.
Oh yeah, and with the technology that we have at our disposal today, coming through different manufacturers, Minelab included, we all win out there in the field, and we're seeing people that are making absolutely killer finds with these machines. The Equinox, the Vanquish, the Excalibur, the CTX, the list goes on. And a lot of these people, I just had a story related to me last week, I think it was. Chuck had sold a Equinox 800 to a gentleman that had been an E-Track user for a number of years, and he finally figured he was going to upgrade to a Equinox 800. He sold his E-Track. He calls Chuck. He says, I want an Equinox 800. Get it set up for me. Chuck had it all charged up, ready to go. Guy takes it out. There's a lot of moisture in the ground at that point. So it's a little chatty for him. So he goes home. He calls Chuck back, and Chuck tells him, well, you need to back your sensitivity down a little bit, and then just work it slow. Go back out there and give it a shot. So his first real time out with the Equinox, he just absolutely kills it with a beautiful condition Indian head penny that's actually a good money coin. The date escapes me right offhand. And an old metal gambling chip that says 500 on it. And who knows if that's $5, $500. I think they're still trying to track down that information. But just killer finds the first time out with the Equinox. These machines are
amazing,
becoming more user-friendly, lightweight, powerful, rechargeable, updatable, upgradable, and people are just coming in, and there's not much of a learning curve anymore.
No, and they are made. So you've got the newest ones would be Vanquish and Equinox, and both of those are multi-IQ, which is just giving you better opportunities right off the bat of finding more more targets, by running simultaneous multi-frequencies. But they can be a turn on and go, or with Vanquish, with Equinox in particular, then you can also then start doing different kinds of settings that you want to do or whatnot. But when somebody just starts using an Equinox, it's like these are the 4 Debbie steps, and one of them is to hit the power button. But so hit the power, select your mode, noise cancel, and adjust your sensitivity, and go. And start like that, and I guarantee you'll find stuff. Then go back afterwards and mess with it. But they're made to be able to turn it on and go out and detect.
Yeah, absolutely. Literally turn on and go machines for somebody that is a newcomer just coming into the hobby, but not necessarily entry level, because they can grow with it as they grow with the hobby.
Yep. And that's even the same with the 440 Vanquish and the 540 Vanquish. You do have a custom ID or custom profile that you can set up, but those two are very simple to use. Turn it on and go, and you're at, the 440, I think, retails for around $279. And I'm seeing, a lot more information now coming out about Vanquish, because right when the virus just started to hit, that's when we started shipping product to all the independent dealers like Trucks and Southwest. So they were just starting to get it. So there wasn't a lot of stuff, videos and things out there. And over the last 3 months, as people are picking them up and getting out and using them, I'm seeing more videos and more, people having a lot of success with them. So it's always a great thing to see.
That's a good point, because I had, and I think Frank had even mentioned this as well on Detect America, that we were kind of wondering what happened to the Vanquish, because it got released, but then you didn't hear a lot of people talking about it, and it was almost like it was, some users, certain people may have been shrugging it off or not giving it a chance. It didn't seem like it was getting the buzz like the Equinox has in the past and still does, or even the E-Track or the CTX or anything like that. And not me personally, because I've not had any interaction at all with a Vanquish, but from what I hear from Frank, it's a very stable, solid operating unit.
It's good in the salt water. It's you don't have the settings like you do in the Equinox. So when you're in whatever mode that you choose to be in, and with starting at the 440, you've got jewelry. Let's see if I can remember: coin, jewelry, relic, and then your all metal mode. So it's running the same set of multiple frequencies in each mode. Where on Equinox, it runs different frequencies based on the mode that you're in. So you've got the same set of frequencies, but as you change, the recovery speed changes on its own. So if you're in a coin mode on Vanquish, that would equate to a 5 recovery speed on an Equinox. And then the jewelry is a 4, and then relic goes down to a 2. So within that machine, by changing the mode, I'm also changing my recovery speed. So if I'm in a trashy area, which is one of the best things, that people love about the Equinox, is that you can separate the good targets from the bad targets with the adjustable recovery speed.
Absolutely.
And you can kind of do that with the Vanquish as well.
Yeah, absolutely, because sometimes it's not necessarily so much a game of depth as it is target separation.
Correct. And
although
Vanquish is quick that you can separate it.
Right. Although depth is, it's not necessarily a bad thing at times either. I still say nothing hits deep silver like a Minelab will.
Yep. And to your point, I know you were talking about CTX and E-Track, and to me, those are the coins, the silver magnets. That if you know how to use those two machines properly, you'll outhunt everybody all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
And don't get me wrong.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, don't get me wrong. The Equinox is great on silver, but there's nothing, to me personally, there's nothing like a CTX or an E-Track for silver.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But then again, we're comparing like an $800 machine to a $2,500 machine.
Exactly.
So people have to keep that in mind as well. But I know that there were many times I would say, if people walked into a park with a CTX or an E-Track, it's like if there were silver coins there, they were just, that's it. I surrender. I give up. They've got me.
Yep. Without a doubt. They're just, they're a little bit heavier now where people are looking for more lightweight. And truthfully, people are looking for something that's very easy, turn on and go to begin with. And, the E-Track and CTX, there is a learning curve to them, without a doubt. But
yes, there is.
Once you know how to use them, you can't, there's nothing better for those.
Yeah. You can be very, very precise with those machines and quite lethal in the field if you're competitive.
Oh, definitely. And what's interesting is a lot of people that own CTX and E-Track also own Equinox, because there's a couple things that Equinox will do that the CTX and E-Track won't. There's hundreds of things the other two will do that the Equinox can't. So, we see a lot of people with there's not one machine that does everything great. It's, by anybody.
No.
And that's why a lot of us carry multiple machines, within our arsenal.
Yeah, if there was one perfect machine out there, we'd all be running it if we could afford it.
Yep.
Of course.
And you even see that on the gold side. I mean, we've got, the STC and the GPXs and the GPZs, and I'll bet you 90% of everybody that owns those also has a gold monster, because they find two different kinds of gold.
By
having the both, you cover the gamut.
That's a very good point too. Yeah, certain tools for certain environments and situations. I mean, if I'm going out, like say I'm going to go out and hit the park, or I get a call for a ring recovery or something like that, chances are good, especially if it's small gold, I'm going to opt to grab the Equinox 800 rather than the CTX or the E-Track.
Correct. Because you're right, with that gold mode and the frequencies that it's running when you're in that gold mode, it's definitely killer.
Yeah, and it amazes me how the Equinox can pick up on such small gold. I've lost track of how many earrings or earring backs that I've found with the Equinox, where you're just, the target's there, you're moving it around with your pinpointer, but it's such a small target, like a stud earring or something, that it's almost driving you nuts. Where is it? I know it's here.
Well, I'll tell you a trick that we do when we go up to Alaska, and I've been up to Alaska with Frank and Chuck, and when we're using the Equinox up there, we always use the 6-inch coil because it will hit the smaller target harder. It's also the coil you want to use for a really trashy area too. But for really tiny stuff, you want, the signal is so concentrated within that 6-inch coil. So looking for smaller gold nuggets, that 6-inch coil works really well. But then also, when we use the gold monster, now where you say that, the Equinox will find a small piece of gold, the gold monster, if you took a pen and put a dot on a sheet of paper, and if that dot was a piece of gold, the gold monster is going to hit it, and it's going to hit it hard. And so the trick is there, if you can't find it with 2 passes over the coil, it goes in a Ziploc bag and we pan it later. That's how small that one will find.
And that right there is enough to entice people to purchase the machine right off the bat, when they can see what that machine is capable of.
They are so much fun, and we've had on our gold machines. I know you guys primarily are coin and treasure, but I know there's people that listen to you that are are gold detectors and that.
Oh yes.
We were constrained already with all our gold machines before the virus even hit because of the price of gold going up.
Exactly.
So more people wanted to get out there, and then you have the virus. And, so we're trying to pump those out as fast as we can, because I'm sure someone's going to ask when we're going to have more gold monsters, and they're coming.
Right. I know Chuck can't even keep them on the shelf. I mean, people just keep ringing his phone off the hook, and he's like, they're coming. When I get them, you'll know.
Yep, they're coming.
And the 6 and 15-inch coils for the Equinox are also very popular items right now, as well as the Profine 35s.
Yep, Profine 35s have been really, really flying off the shelf within the last probably year. People are really starting to understand what they can do, and so they're very, very popular, which I was so happy when I saw Minelab come out with a waterproof pinpointer. Because I used to carry around the Profine 25.
Yep, so was I. I mean, they had the Profine 25. I've used one for years. I had even recommended, and here's a name from the past. You'll probably remember Timmy from Australia.
Yep.
I could even recall mentioning to him one time, the Profine 25 is a great pinpointer, but if you guys could make it waterproof, that would just be so cool. And then you wind up, not only do you do that, you put in the iron target ID, the ferrous tone indicator.
Yep. Now I have a love-hate relationship for that feature on that machine, because I usually dig the proverbial sounds beautiful 2.5-foot horseshoe. And as I'm detecting, I'm getting this huge signal, so I put the pinpointer in, and I think it's going to be a good signal, and then I hear that nagging sound that it makes when it's iron. And
right.
It's like, oh, man. It's that horseshoe. I know it is, but, yeah.
I can definitely see your point there, which does bring up another good question. I'm pretty sure I already know the answer to this, but some people fancy themselves gold hunters, coin shooters, relic hunters. Do you put yourself into any particular category like that?
Well, because of my job and handling all of North America, I have to know both and do both. And I love finding gold, without a doubt. Love finding gold, but I just love finding relics or treasure. To try to figure out how it got there, where it came from, things like that. So that would be where my passion would lie. But don't get me wrong, I'll take gold all day long too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I would have to agree, but I don't know. Something just kind of told me if you had a preference, you were a relic girl.
Yep, that I am. You got me.
It's all that time at DIV and things like that.
Yep, I go out to DIV to work now and help, people with their, because the majority of people have GPXs, so we want to make sure that they're up and running the whole time that they're there, and we go out there, and then another dealer comes out, and we make sure, if somebody has a problem, we get them back up running again. But when no one's not bothering me, I shouldn't say that. When no one is having an issue, then I'm out there with my GPX looking for my stuff. And usually the way it goes, Josh, is if you're detecting 10 feet away from me, you are going to find something really, really good.
So you're kind of like everybody's good luck charm.
I think so, or I'm just picking up all the nails for them. So
clearing
one
the
of the
path.
two. But I've seen some really good stuff dug up just 10 feet away from me.
I will definitely have to try to keep that in mind the next time I run into you at a hunt.
Yep. I might have to start taking names because too many people are going to want to detect near me. So I might have to start a waiting list.
Right, yeah. Don't want too much crosstalk going on between machines or anything. And we definitely know when it comes to DIV, it is definitely a pulse induction game.
Oh, without a doubt. It's funny though. Since we've launched the Equinox, I've seen what's really neat is I've seen a lot of new people coming to DIV with the Equinox because, in my opinion, with multi-IQ, it's going to give you the most depth that you can get out of the VLF machine. Now, it's still a VLF machine. It'll have its limitations.
Right.
But you can still get a lot of depth out of it. And there's a lot of new people that, because of the price, they've been able to get into the sport and come out to things like DIV and still have some success.
I have heard that. I have heard that it does perform respectably, very respectively, at DIV. And I guess for people who may be interested in a Vanquish, it's not necessarily, the Equinox does have more features and bells and whistles, yes, but it's still essentially the same technology.
Yes, it's got the same multi-IQ in it. Where it kind of differs is that if I'm on Vanquish, if I'm in coin or relic or in jewelry mode, it's running the same batch of frequencies, multiple frequencies. On
right.
Equinox, it's running a certain batch of frequencies when I'm in park versus field, gold, or beach. So it changes. So you've got a little bit more variety in Equinox. And I have not tried. I had a prototype out at DIV. I think it was 2 years ago. Just messing with it a little bit, and it was doing okay. It's not going to give you as much as the Equinox will, of course, but.
Right.
It's still, I'm watching people go out with it now and finding stuff in, really trashy areas and things like that. So people are having a lot of success with it. And two, when you think about it, so Vanquish retail starts at $199, and that's an updatable machine. If there are updates to be made, you can update that machine, which is unheard of.
Yeah, which, incidentally speaking, kudos to Minelab. When the Equinox came out, I did not expect to see updates as soon as I did, if at all. And Minelab stayed on top of it.
They did, and I was so proud of Minelab how the updates on these are very simple to do. With Equinox, basically 2 minutes after you load the program. So it's very, very simple to do. And the last update we did was actually taking technology that we put into Vanquish, which is the high and low iron bias, and put that into Equinox. So now on your iron bias setting, you only have the FE, but you also have F2, which is for more for your bottle caps and stuff. So the stuff that they learned from in preparing Vanquish, they put that technology up into Equinox as well.
Right. And we've actually got an Equinox user on the line with us, actually waiting in the wings. So I'm sure they'll have some good things to say about the Equinox as well when we get them in here. But another thing would be too, I've heard rumors, maybe you can kind of verify or not verify that, but we've heard some rumors that Minelab has kind of restructured, maybe a nice term for it, or added to their team of DETECTERS.
Yes, we are. So what we did is we've kind of relaunched the program, but we wanted to have the dealers to be able to select their own DETECTERS to help them with, they can be doing videos, training, support places. Minelab will also utilize them, as we see fit, but they're primarily to support that dealer. And Chuck, I know if you wanted to be on this for the call for this, but I don't think he's going to make it, unfortunately. But and
he does apologize to everyone for that.
The thing so that no. But so his 2 nominations were vetted and were accepted. So 2 of the newest DETECTERS to our team or family are Frank Juarez and John White. So we would like to congratulate them and welcome them to the DETECTERS family.
I would also like to give a congratulations out to both of them. Actually, we were alluding to it Wednesday, but I didn't want to slip and let the cat out of the bag, and Chuck didn't want to either. He wanted that announcement to be left for you to make, but we did congratulate one of them as they were in the chat. We did not mention them by name, but they are actually on here with us. So would you like to chime in, John?
Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Well, there's the crazy spider. Congratulations, sir. Welcome aboard. And congratulations on that barber half, too. Just a little bit envious there. A New Orleans mint barber half.
Thank you very much. It's very, very humbling to have been nominated and accepted. And I look forward to representing Chuck and Minelab as well. I'm looking forward to everything that, we can do as a team. And, it's all about having fun and, hopefully, like Deb was saying, getting the younger generations involved. And, YouTube's one way to do it. But, getting out there in the field and just having a good time and representing, making sure everybody gets questions answered and being able to provide them that piece of it should be a good part of drawing them in as well and keep them interested in the hobby.
And I'm sure you'll be able to do that.
Chuck,
Go ahead, Debbie.
No, I was just going to say, and you get to, to do it with Chuck, and he's one of our, very, very supportive dealers. So, and I know Chuck would have never nominated you and Frankie unless he really, really believed in you. And so, I take him at his word, and I just want to welcome you and congratulate you.
Thank you very much, Debbie. I appreciate it.
And I'm sure
we'll have some fun too.
Exactly. And I'm sure that one of the reasons why you two were accepted like that was because of the fact of what you're doing with the hobby, the way you're presenting and carrying yourselves, and man, you make such good videos. I'm sure that's going to come in handy.
Yeah, it's fun. You definitely have to have an interest in it. Otherwise, if you're not having, like I told you before, if you're not having fun doing it, there's no point to trying to do it. But we got some fun ones coming soon. I was actually all day Thursday and all day Friday we were out shooting. And
your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 5, 6, 3, 3, 7, 0, 3, 5, 9.
We're here.
I don't know what that was. That was weird. Did you guys hear any of that? Okay.
Yeah, I did.
No, so anyway, we were out shooting all day, both days, and I got a new iPhone, and so I'm trying to run that. And so I let Casey loose on the GoPro. So after watching the video, there should be some pretty entertaining videos coming out soon. Once again, just us having a good time, and, we didn't really find a whole lot, but, there were some gems in there, as you kind of called that out a little bit. Yeah. We'll kind of leave it at that.
Well, that one has to be acknowledged. That was a killer find.
Yeah, I still feel like I'm shaking from finding that. That was unbelievable, and I found some awesome relics the first day, but coin-wise, nothing really to speak of. Second day, nothing really to speak of. And here Casey and Roger and everybody else are plucking silvers, and I'm like, what is going on? And like normal, Casey called out, I think it was late Thursday. He said, this is going to be like normal, because it either happens to him or it happens to me. Whoever's finding all the common silver, there's going to be a really good coin find toward the end of the hunt that the other person is going to land on, and that's exactly what ended up happening again. It was literally the last location we were at on Friday, and that's when it happened.
And when that come up out of the ground, was Casey like, "Oh man, you suck"?
We literally just got there. I headed out, because we were kind of there before anybody else was. The property owner, she wanted to mow the area that we were going to park in. So she mowed. I was pretty much the first one parked out of the group of us. There was 5 of us total that were there. And when I just kind of took off, I figured, it's hot. I don't want to wait. I want to get moving, kind of cool off a little bit under the shade. And so I'm going to town, just heading up the way. And, it's the first pass, the very first hole any of us dug. I had like a 31-ish, 32. I was like, that's a good silver quarter sound. Didn't think much of it. And I was like, maybe. Everything that I've had up to that point has been, big copper or whatever. Just stuff to go in my trash pile. And flipped the plug, and on the bottom of the plug, it was standing there nice and shiny, and still thought I had a quarter because I didn't really look at it close. And so the 4 of them head over, and as I'm zooming in with the camera, that's when I realized that I had dug a half, and I was like, "Oh man, I didn't! I really thought I had a quarter just based on that signal."
So people will get to see the real time realization set in the video.
Yes, absolutely. Because it was it's a quarter. Come on over, guys! Finally got a silver. And it was just like, oh, yeah, it was definitely real-time reaction.
Right. Now,
that's fantastic.
Do New Orleans mint coins show up very often for you?
That is my first.
Nice.
And I had just dug my first San Francisco silver about like a month or so ago. I had a Barber dime that was a S-mint.
Because I know they don't show up real often in some areas of Ohio, but I've got, a 1902 New Orleans mint Barber half, and that thing is just phenomenal to look at. That was an exciting find, so I definitely know what you were going through.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And that
I don't get shaky too often, and that got me shook up.
And coincidentally, that 1902 Barber half was made with a Minelab machine too. That find that was hit with. Actually, I think I was running the CTX when I hit that.
There you go.
They will definitely sniff out silver, as you're seeing with the Equinox. And the little bit of noise that we interrupted everyone with, we're going to try one more time here and see. I think I recognize that number, and I would like to work them in if we can. I'm not real sure why it's doing that, but I think it was actually Frank. So we'll see if we can't get him in here. But it's looking like we have him. Well, hello, Chef Juarez.
How we doing?
Very nice.
Thank you.
We have you on here currently with Crazy Spider and Debbie from Minelab. Congratulations on you making the team as Detectspert.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Frankie.
Yeah, thank you, Deb.
Yeah.
Hey, are you... Go ahead.
Might want to turn your speakers down there so it doesn't confuse you as much.
Okay. There.
That way, then you can hear John and Debbie real time, and if they've got anything to say to you or you to them, everybody can hear everybody just fine.
Gotcha. Okay. Chuck, he's at a grass fire tonight. That's why he couldn't make it.
Yeah, unfortunately, he did get called out. We weren't sure if we were going to hear from you or not, so very pleasantly surprised to see your number flip across the screen there.
Right.
First-time caller.
Yeah.
And I do assure you, John is here with us.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Congratulations,
cool.
Frank. I know we
Thank you.
saw each other not that long ago, but I'm excited for you. I'm excited to be on board with you.
Yeah, for sure.
You're a stand-up gentleman, and I look forward to working with you.
Yeah, me too. For you too. Thank you.
And I would say that Debbie probably thinks likewise, but I do believe Chuck has made some very fine choices.
He has for sure.
And he does look forward to working with both of you. Like I said, he does apologize for not being able to make the show, but he does look forward to working with both of you. He's very glad to hear that that all went through and that Minelab was happy, pleased with his choices. They are happy with both of you, and I guess Minelab as well is looking forward to doing some things with you in the future.
Sounds good.
Yep, and even, I haven't worked, John, I don't think I've ever met you in person, John. Have I?
No, we have not met each other yet.
Yeah,
I know we've chatted a
think
few times, but other than that, we haven't met.
Well, I look forward to meeting you in person, and Frank, we're old buddy. Right, Frank?
Yeah, I know that we've had some secret hunts that we've been planning out that eventually we were supposed to have probably met by now, but that kind of fell through with the COVID stuff.
Right. Well, there'll be time for that for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
where I met Deb was up in Alaska.
That's what I figured. Yeah, I know that you're big into the electronic prospecting and things of that nature, so I'm sure you and Debbie had to have ran into each other up there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy, did we run it. That you really get to know somebody when you're with them for 7 days, 24/7, basically.
Yep.
And let me tell you, Frank makes really good breakfast burritos.
That's why when we brought him in, I announced him as Chef Juarez instead, because Chuck's all the time, yep, we've got Frank doing the cooking, we've got Chef Juarez on it, everybody's going to eat good.
Yep, we do. Right. Yeah, it was my turn on Sunday, so yeah, that was cool.
Nice, definitely. So, like Debbie said, you really get the opportunity to know a person when you're with them 7 days straight, 24/7 like that. And
for sure, yes.
Apparently you two hit it off all right. Nobody was trying to kill one another or anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Not that I can remember.
Right. So it's pretty safe to say he didn't try to take your Pepsi.
No, he did not try to take my Pepsi. He was trying to outfish me, but that's another story.
Oh, well, that's competition has got to work in there somewhere.
Yep.
Always.
And
Always does.
how are you able to mention how long of a process was this to kind of get the suggestion or the recommendation from Chuck and the vetting process and all of that? Because I know you guys were kind of working on this for a while.
Yeah, unfortunately, it should have been quicker, but then we've got COVID kind of thrown in there as well. So that took a little bit of a backseat till we could figure out how to operate, with everybody working from home, supporting the dealers and everything else. So both gentlemen were very patient, and I know I kept telling Chuck, it's going to go. We just got to give me some time to get it done. And so, I was thrilled to be able to let them know and to have them on your show so I could personally congratulate them because it's a big thing. And for Chuck, with dealers referring their own Detectors, they're trusting those Detectors with their business. So
Absolutely.
How highly Chuck feels about both of those guys to do that.
Absolutely, yes, you're exactly right. And he would not have even suggested or recommended if he did not think that they were a good fit for the task at hand. Without
a doubt. And the way, part of the reason we're doing it this way with the referring dealers is so that the dealers have, Chuck does a lot of different shows, trade shows and sports shows, that he always has, his support there all the time. It also gets, more people involved in it, that you don't have to have a TV show or something to be one of our super users. And, there might be a detector where, they're very good at a couple machines and not every machine, which is okay. We want to try to help, like Chuck and John grow their audiences and their subscriptions, and that while helping Chuck out, while helping Minelab out, and it's going to be a really good partnership as we get everything up and running like this. I think it's going to be great. I think it is too. And looking into the future, obviously, as things are starting to open up a little more for us, are you able to share what is the next event kind of on the docket that we can look forward to seeing a Minelab booth at? Right now, because we're in phase 3, there's no travel for me as of yet. It's going to, that'll be deemed by Minelab itself. So right now we're going to just follow, the rules that we have, within this state, and then there's rules in the other states. So it's still kind of up in the air. But trust me, the minute I can get back out, I'm getting back out. There you go. And unfortunately, I'm sure that you were just as disappointed as many of the rest of us when we found out that the Galesburg event for this year had to be rescheduled to next year. Fortunately, many of us that were slated to attend that event are staying on for next year's event. Is that the same situation that you're in, or are you planning on attending the 2021 Galesburg event? My plan is to be there. Nice. I'm sure Chuck and John and Frank are all definitely looking forward to that. It will be very nice to see you again, and I guess that will mean that maybe that will be John's first opportunity to meet you in person, although I'm sure by that point he will have bumped into you somewhere. Well, hopefully before that will happen before, but if not, we've got all, like we said, all this new technology that we can utilize and email, phones, or whatever, but I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in person for sure. The technology is nice, but it's just not the same as interacting in person sometimes. Very true. Very true.
I do have to say that for sure. So once again, definitely congratulations to John and Frank both. Is there anything else that either of you guys would like to add?
Let's see.
I was going to say, go ahead, Frank.
I was going to say, I'm hearing crickets here from Frank and John.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like I said, with our swing into summer thing that we had planned this year, like I say, it's good it's been canceled, but same time next year, and it should be a good one for sure, because down in Galesburg, Illinois, at Lake Story Lake down there, and it's always been a good time down there, and everybody's a lot of area to roam around in, and it was a good time. So, but anyway,
well,
and also too.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go on.
No, that's all right. Continue.
Okay. Anyway, what else I was going to say was that when I first met Deb up there in Alaska, she kind of she forgot something, and here you are out in the middle of nowhere, and I just happened to have something that she needed, and it worked.
Yeah.
I said, "Hey, this doesn't fit me no more, so here, you can have it."
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
but anyway,
yeah.
So that was one deal. A week.
It sounds like Debbie's going, you just had to remember.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one for sure.
I put Frank and Chuck through a little bit of a roundup. So what he gave me, and thank goodness he did, was a belt, because I didn't bring a belt with me. So as you know, as you bend up and down in jeans, well, they loosen up a little bit. So thank goodness he had a belt, because otherwise I was going for a rope. And then
right.
we had, you usually go via ATV anywhere that you are in Nome. So we were running to the store, I believe, to get our fishing licenses, and we were all on ATVs. And I had given all my Minelab hats away except the one I was wearing on my head, and it flew off on the highway. And I think it was you, Frank, that went back and did find it. But we were searching on it because I had run out of a hat. And after my Pepsi, my hat's the next big thing. Debbie's not without a hat. So
it was just not your lucky time.
No, it was not. But it all worked out.
Well, that's the important part, I guess. Definitely. So it sounds like Frank has definitely got some good stories about Alaska to share with us sometime.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think Chuck and I are maybe planning on going up next year again. So I've been saving my pennies now.
It would not surprise me. Alaska is Chuck's home away from home.
You just don't want to come back home.
Well,
it is.
When you can find...
You can ask Chuck. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No,
I was
that's
going to say you can ask Chuck about our muskox intervention that we had.
We have had that. We have heard that story on the show before. Yeah. When it comes to Alaska, Chuck is definitely the man to have around.
For sure. He has the gun.
Yeah, because as Chuck likes to put it, when you get into Alaska, you are no longer the top of the food chain. There are things up there that will eat you.
Yep,
so,
very true.
Definitely good to have around, and when you can make some of the finds that I have heard him relate that he has made or he has seen found in Alaska, I can understand why it is such an alluring place to go to and hunt.
Yeah, it is.
And too, when because most of us as metal detectors, we love to be outdoors, and we appreciate nature and everything else. To be going everywhere in an ATV, up mountains, and back in the woods and things like that. You don't get to do that. That place is just, it's a one of a kind. And then add in that it doesn't get dark. You got a lot of time to detect.
Right, exactly. You can literally hunt all day and be wore out.
You sure can. And there were times I was tired and it's light out. I keep looking at my watch going, I should be tired, but maybe I'm not. I'm not sure what I should do.
Right? Yeah, what do I do? Well, I guess I'll keep hunting, looking for that next nugget. And
Very true.
On your times that you have been up to Alaska, Debbie, what has been the most significant gold find that you have made?
I found some small gold, not a lot of large gold. Usually when I'm up there, if I'm detecting, it's usually with other people up there, so teaching them how to use the machines and, making sure that they find some gold.
Right.
I did find some relics, though, where the last, I'm trying to think, where the last teletype or telegraph pole was or something like that, and I found some things up there that dated back to that period. So that was kind of cool.
Oh, that would be. Definitely.
Yeah. I'll still look for the relics, even in the gold country. There's relics too, so.
Right. We'll take the gold if we run across it, though.
Without a doubt. And I've seen people find some nice gold, so it's always good to see somebody, I take a lot of the pleasure is just watching somebody find it. And it's a cool feeling to watch how excited they are about it.
Right, getting to see that end user be successful in the field.
Correct.
Very nice. Anything more that you would like to add, Frank? Maybe where people can find you or anything now that you are part of the DETECTEES team?
Well, I live in Davenport, Iowa, west end of Davenport, Iowa. But one thing before I get into that was, like what Debbie says, riding a four-wheeler in Alaska. It's really cool where you can drive up and just reach down and grab a handful of blueberries as you're heading up the mountain and stuff. I thought that was the cool thing had happened.
Oh, you can't beat wild blueberries.
They were the big ones too.
Nice.
But anyway, yeah, I love metal detecting. I've been doing it since 1995. Almost have every Minelab except for the most expensive ones. Well, the 3030 was an expensive one, but I got the E-Track, Equinox, 705, the GoFind 60. Let's see, there's one more, but I can't think of it right offhand. But anyway, I got a good collection of them in that time frame. So
nice, very nice. Well, congratulations to you once again, Frank. And what about you, John?
No, I appreciate you both, Debbie and Chuck, for the confidence in having me as part of the team. I do appreciate that very much. No, I'm after listening to some of this, I think I have a possible good teacher here in Frank and Chuck, and even if I get out with Debbie at some point, I wouldn't mind trying out some gold hunting. I haven't done that before. That would be kind of fun. My question is who was on bear patrol while you guys were out doing all this stuff?
Chuck had the gun.
We were looking.
Right.
But
so
thank God there was nothing that happened. No, nothing. We seen tracks, but we didn't see no bears or nothing. Just
so I kind of get there that Debbie's just like, we leave that to Chuck. He takes care of that business.
They're not going to bother me.
Right. We just make sure that hopefully if it's coming from any direction, we're behind Chuck.
Yes.
I know he has related before one experience up there, a bear encounter that he had that he had told us in the past that he was like, it's awful hard when you're trying to keep an eye on that bear and push a button and try to get this ATV in reverse so you can get turned around and get out of there yourself. And yeah, by the time I made it back to camp, I was still shaking. It sounds like that one was a little too close for comfort for Chuck.
But if it bothers him, then it's probably pretty bad.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, exactly. If it bothers him, I'm just fine living vicariously through his eyes. I don't need to be that close. Not at all. Obviously, John, everybody knows where to find you on Crazy Spider Adventures, unless you have something else to add to it.
Yes, sir. And as you know, I'm an admin with Detecting the Heartland.
Good point.
We're still hoping to have that hunt this fall, but we'll see. We've still got our fingers crossed to have that.
We are hoping so, and I have heard that Casey has put in for another order of shirts, so hopefully he gets that order soon. Looking forward to those.
Yep.
But we will definitely see how things go, and for those that were wondering, the Crazy Spider Adventures link for the YouTube channel is in the show description, as well as up in the early part of the chat of the show. He is one of the YouTube channels that we do like to promote here because he does just such a good job. So keep up the good work, my friend.
Appreciate it, Josh.
Not a problem, anytime. And we do appreciate you and Frank both having the time. Like I said, Chuck does very, very much so apologize for missing this, but we do appreciate you and Frank both having the time to at least chime in on the announcement that Debbie had to make.
Well, thank you very much, and very appreciated, too.
Definitely. I think he's made some good choices. I think Minelab has made some good choices, and really, I see you both going very far. I've heard nothing but high remarks for both of you from Chuck. He speaks very highly of you both and appreciates what you both do very much. So,
feeling as usual.
So, with that being said, I guess we should probably think about getting out of here so we don't keep Debbie tied up too awful long. Maybe, who knows, maybe she's got to work on a plan on the next machine to be released from Minelab that we hope will come soon.
There was a lot of chatter in the chat room about that. They're like, is there a new model of CDX coming out?
Oh, that would be nice.
Somebody started that because within the last week and a half, I've gotten more phone calls and emails about that. And I can tell you this, Minelab has, I believe right now it is 60 engineers in Australia. And all they're doing is making metal detectors, either countermine or give the consumer. And that's an awful lot of engineers, so you never know what's coming. The best way to find out the most accurate information as quickly as possible is to register at minelab.com. And those are the people, when we do a launch or announce it, that's where it's announced first.
That's right.
So
get on the newsletter.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. One other thing, too, before we go, Debbie. Would you like to cover, what is it, I believe, the Minelab Olympics?
So I believe we are on week 5, and it goes through the end of June. But it's basically a scavenger hunt, and it's taking everyone in the world can participate in it, and it's sending in the pits. There'll be 5 things I believe you have to find. Then you need to take a picture of that and then submit it. And we've had a couple winners from the U.S. as well. And then there'll be announced, marketing will announce online who the winners are. And then at the end, there'll be a medal total to see what country has won the most.
That sounds like good fun, and you guys could not have picked a better time to do it.
Without a doubt. We actually had plans to do this for a while, and then we, with COVID and everything else, the people at Minelab, tweaked it a little bit to make sure that it would work for everyone who was, in lockdown and staying safe, but to still have some fun and a contest to participate in.
Right, and kind of take their mind off of things.
For sure.
Or at least we hope, anyway. I mean, it does. It sounds like a lot of good fun.
Yep.
Definitely.
And we have, we also have our monthly finds of the month every month, for people to post on the Minelab page of what you found, and then actually Minelab employees will vote on the top 3, and we do that once a month. So there's a lot of different things that, and there's some stuff coming up shortly as well. A lot of different things to keep people busy and help them out, while we're still in this kind of new normal status right now.
Right, I like the way you put that, the new norm, because realistically, even when things do open back up, I don't think they're ever going to be the way they were. We're just going to adjust to the new way of things.
And you know what? You're probably right. And, it goes to show we can adjust to whatever we need to adjust to and still, get our hobby in and still enjoy it.
Absolutely. We're adaptive. We persevere. We make the environment work for us, for our situation.
It's the one hobby or sport, or however you want to deem it, that when people, I've gone to, different gold shows and other trade shows and that where when someone finds an issue or something that they need for their detector or for their prospecting, they just go out and make it. And it's not, people are not sitting back waiting for someone else to create it. They're going out and creating it themselves, which is such a neat thing to see, that people are just getting out there doing, I've got this problem, so I'm going to invent this, and now I'll sell it to everybody else. So it's pretty cool.
You're absolutely right. There is a lot of ingenuity going on in the hobby where they are adapting things. They need it for their situation or whatever. They can't find it. They make it. They get the job done. It works for them. And then next thing you know, other people are doing it as well. Or finding out where they can get that particular item, trying to reach out to that person. Hey, can I get one of those? Definitely good things.
It's not. You don't see that very often in something like what we're doing. Within a hobby or that. So, I find that very refreshing to see.
Yes, absolutely. I would have to agree. I would definitely have to agree. Well, I would like to personally, once again, thank you for taking the time to be on the show. It is unfortunate that Chuck was unable to make it, but I'm sure maybe at some point in the future we can have you back on, and I'm sure that Chuck will be able to be here then. Is there anything else you would like to add before we go?
Just everybody stay safe, whatever you need to do, and I cannot wait to see everybody in the near future.
Awesome. Very well said. And speaking of the near future, don't forget, tune in tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, Detect America Live. They are still continuing with their summer COVID blowout, having a good time over there. It's going to be all sorts of fun, and we do have some news coming up very, very soon. Not mentioning any times next weekend. Sorry about that. We do have some announcements coming up soon, though, and we'll see what happens. For everyone else, definitely, we appreciate Debbie for taking the time. If you enjoyed the show, make sure and throw us a like. You can follow us here on Spreaker, YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, iHeart, many of the other wonderful podcast distribution services out there. In the meantime, hang in there with me, Debbie. We're going to roll on out of here, and we wish everyone else a wonderful evening, and stay safe out there. Get out there and try to find something if you can. Post up those photos. You know how we love to see them. We'll catch you on the next one.